Hello everyone. Today we are going to review the movie Shadow in the Cloud. I've been editing all morning. Just before we get into the actual review, I've been editing all morning and I just realized that I spelled my name wrong in a couple of the intros. So I'm going to go through all of them now just to be sure that I didn't do that in any of the other ones, because I can't believe that I spelled it backwards, but sometimes my hands move faster than my actual, yeah. So I don't know why these all go full screen for whatever reason, because I don't need them to, but hopefully I didn't make any other errors, because I really don't want to have to go back and change that much stuff. Really don't. That would really suck. So anyway, yes, Shadow in the Cloud. So this is starring Chloe Grace... What am I trying to say? Holy crap. Chloe Grace Moretz. Apparently that's a tongue twister for me today. Don't really know why. So we're not really sure who she is or what she's doing, but she's trying to say that she's on some sort of mission, and she sounds Australian in the beginning of the movie, which I kind of found funny because I'm not really sure. Sorry, where she's, oh my god, let me mute that. I don't know why. There's still volume on my computer. It was a really weird way to start out an intro to a video, I know, but I'm just trying to check everything here to make sure that I didn't screw up, so bear with me, I guess. A really bad intro to a video, but hey. Okay, so far so good on all the other ones, I do believe. Okay, I think we're good. Yep, we're good. Thank God. Okay, so I only screwed up 2, I guess. Okay, so anyway, she's trying to find this plane called the... God damn. Come on, Will, think. Oh, what was the name of the plane? Oh my god. Seriously? Really? They're not going to tell you the name of the plane? Ugh. Okay, well, we're going to have to go back then and actually look at that, because that's ridiculous that I can't remember it that quickly. God damn it. This video might actually have to be cut, because this is ridiculous that I am forgetting stuff that quickly. Oh, come on. Really gonna make me look that much? Okay. No, I just want to fast forward just a little bit. Part with the plane. Must be like right at the beginning then. Nope, this is before all that. Ugh, sorry guys, I know. This is brutal. What was the name of the plane? Ah, the Fool's Errand. So she's looking for this plane called the Fool's Errand. I don't know what I was thinking the name of the plane was, but anyhow, we're just going to back out of that movie and go to where I actually was. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, seriously. Oh, come on. Of course, now I can't find it. Oh, I hate that so much. Anyway, so yeah, she's looking for this plane called the Fool's Errand, and I'm not sure whether she's running from something or what, but in the beginning of the movie she sounds Australian, so she's trying to make it sound like she belongs on the plane, I guess, even though we find out later on in the movie that she's stolen the uniform and all that kind of stuff, so we know she's not actually meant to be on the plane, that's for sure. And now I'm trying to find this other movie that I wanted to watch. So we know she's not supposed to be on the plane, and I know I'm really not paying attention to what I'm doing here right now, but okay, I found it. Okay. Let's pause that. Okay, so we know now. Now, I don't really know if she was actually supposed to be on the plane or not, but she's carrying some sort of like precious cargo. We know that much, and she keeps telling the other crew members not to open it. So the other crew members are Stu Beckel, Anton Williams, Walter Quaid, John Reeves, Tommy Dorn, Terrence Taggart, and Bradley Fitch. And they are played by Nick Robinson, Bula Collet. I hope I'm getting that right anyway. Taylor John Smith, Callan Mulvey, Benedict Wall, Byron Cole, and Joe Witalski, and Liam Legg. I'm gonna say that's his name. Oh no, sorry, I've gone too far now. Whoopsie. Ignore the last name I said. I guess I was right when I said and Joel Witalski. Wow, I think I put an L in there the first time I said that. So anyway, this crew is quite rude to her, I guess, and the excuse they make later for why they were rude to her doesn't make any sense, because just because she was a woman, I guess they thought that they could just run their mouths around her or whatever, right? So I will say this, she definitely bit back a couple times when she finally revealed who she actually was and lost the Australian accent all of a sudden, just like that. So you find out that she's actually American. So she goes by the original name. She tries to say her last name is Garrett, and she has like all these different credentials in the Air Force, I guess. And then you find out that she's a pilot. So she's clearly had plenty of experience, because I think she said something like over 800 miles or something of experience. Now, I'm not really sure whether that's good or bad as far as plane flying goes, but they still kind of make fun of her. And then when they find out that she's actually not Garrett and that her last name is Johnson, I guess Garrett was her maiden name, and because she's married, she obviously took the last name of her husband, right? But apparently her husband was abusive to her. She ends up getting pregnant with one of the guys that's actually on the plane, Walter Quaid. So I believe that was who. Yeah, it was Quaid that she got pregnant from. So the precious cargo she's carrying on the plane is actually the baby. So we get this little PSA announcement at the beginning of the movie talking about gremlins and stuff, and I guess that was supposed to be some sort of a myth to pilots, I guess, that nobody had really seen them, but I guess they were talked about sometimes as to why pilots lost control, or maybe it was just like hallucination or screw up according to the captain of the plane that they are on. God, the fool's errand, right? My God, almost forgot it again. So, as they go along, not only do they have, so I guess their mission is like I'm not really sure what their mission was, but her mission was to get on the plane and carry the cargo to safety, obviously, to keep away from her husband and so on and so forth. And I guess when it's finally revealed when Quaid, I believe it was actually, was it Beckel that was kind of fighting them off in the beginning, or was it Quaid? So Beckel's a very young soldier, so he hasn't had very much of experience, I guess, and I believe it was him that actually took the package in the beginning to keep it away from the other crewmen of the plane. But then they do open it and find out that it's the baby, and obviously Quaid speaks up and says that it's his, and now the mission has changed, so they turn around to go home, and that's when things get even shittier, because Garrett's trying to explain to them that there's like Japanese fighters following them, but they don't believe her because she first talks about this gremlin thing that's actually on the plane. And she's been the only one to see it so far, but then I believe Beckel actually talks about seeing it himself, and then they kind of all think that they're going crazy from whatever device she might have inside this little container that she's carrying, but obviously they do find out that it's the baby, so they know now that what they're seeing is real, and the gremlin actually is able to get onto the plane at one point. And then they have 3 more Japanese fighters come after them later on in the movie, and that's when things go really sideways because the plane gets shot at so much it starts to go into a nosedive. They lose the captain, they lose one of the gunners. Who was it that fell off the plane with the gremlin? I guess Taggart fell off the plane with the gremlin. Somehow the gremlin gets back onto the plane. It rips out parts of the plane during the movie and malfunctions 2 of the engines. So yeah, things were not going really well for this plane. And then the whole little pod turret thing that she was in ends up falling off the plane, and that's how she gets back into the plane. Thankfully, the whole thing just kind of fell out because when she originally tried to get out of it, she ended up breaking the handles on the hatch, I guess, to get out when they asked her to come up the first time, and then they tried to get her out the second time, and she ends up plugging the cogs of the machine and then overriding the manual, I guess the manual, she overrides the manual controls, I guess, on the turret on the bottom of the plane herself. I'm not really sure exactly how she did that. She pulled a bunch of stuff out and then rearranged it, so she clearly knows her stuff. She's clearly had a lot of work with planes and been on and around planes enough to know what she's doing, so I do believe that she was probably a very good pilot. Clearly, because she does actually end up being the one kind of taking control over the plane after the captain dies, and she tells Williams that in order to land safely, they have to flip the plane 180 and then flip it back, but they still come in too hot and end up crashing the plane. And then they have to run off the plane before the oxygen on the plane explodes. It gets quite intense. And then at the end of the movie, it was probably the most badass scene. And I think it's kind of weird to see how Chloe has grown up as a character. As far as that goes, I'd say she's much more, like, it's so weird seeing these people grow up, because I remember watching her and, like, oh, God, Kick-Ass, and I think she might have been, like, maybe 11 or 12 at that point in time, so it's crazy to see how far she's come in her acting career, and I gotta give props where props is due, because she absolutely whoops the pants off this, off this gremlin at the very end of the movie, and I was like, I don't know if that's a good idea, but she kicked the shit right out of it, so, and then she ends up killing it with its own claw. She actually breaks its arm, sticks the claw through the throat, and then rips out the throat with its own claw, so that's one hell of a way to kill something, I would say. Yeah, I think she just fit to be a badass, a badass killer who just kicks the shit out of everybody. I think that role just suits her so much, and she was actually pretty jacked for this movie. Like, she's been working out. This girl has been working out because she looked ripped. She had muscle, like, holy crap. So yeah, I got to give props to her for taking on this role, and her Australian accent was actually pretty good. I think it was Australian anyway. So yeah, props where props are due, right? So I will say one thing from the trailer though, and they did a very good job of it actually in the trailer, is keeping you in suspense as to what is actually chasing them, because they made it look like the entire time it was some, like, giant creature and she was the only one in the plane. So I don't know whether they had, like, a different direction as to where they were going originally, or whether they just made it look like she was the only one flying and she was by herself, and they just did a very good job of that in the trailer. I might have to go back and watch the trailer again actually just to see, but yeah, I think they made it look like she was a solo pilot in the trailer. I could be wrong, or maybe they were just trying to do that to throw you off from what the actual storyline was. In that case, they did a fabulous job of that. Now, there was some audio distortion, and I thought that it was part of the movie, but then I realized I think my headphones are starting to go, so I might have to go and get a new pair, because it seemed to be happening in both pairs of headphones. So I think it's time for a new set of headphones for sure on both ends, gaming and otherwise, because I don't like wearing my gaming headset all the time constantly, because it's much heavier than just a regular headset to plug in and listen to stuff. So yeah, but other than that, I think I've pretty much talked about this movie as much as I can. The gremlin actually looked somewhat real, which was surprising. So they did a really good job on the CGI in this one, even though you don't see the gremlin very much. And I will say one of the most intense scenes probably was when the gremlin steals the baby and it tries to bring it out of the wing of the plane, and then she shoots at the gremlin because she says, she's yelling at it, "You don't know how far I'll go," obviously for her own child, right? So she's climbing along the bottom of the plane, and they like flip it so that it looks like she's climbing on the top, but it was cool. And I will give her, like, it was very intense because she was putting a lot of faith in the strap of the bag and the bag not opening and the baby just falling to its death. So I will say that was very intense, but she was able to get the baby back on the plane. And it made it seem like Quaid had died at one point when he said the gremlin was on the turret, but I guess he somehow survived. Unfortunately, the rest of the crew wasn't quite as lucky, except for Williams and Beckel, I guess, were the other two survivors. So then at the end of the movie, after she kills the gremlin type creature, the gremlin, she can hear the baby crying, so she goes over and actually breastfeeds the baby right on the beach. But I guess that makes sense, because yeah, how else are you going to feed the baby when you're stranded on a... I don't really actually know where they ended up landing, because they never say, so I guess they're kind of stranded until they can find another civilization, so who knows where they are. Maybe we'll get a sequel to this movie. That would be kind of interesting, just to see where those four characters go, obviously. I guess, yeah. So I would like to see where Garrett, Beckel, Williams, and Quaid actually go after this, and what is going to happen to her original husband, I suppose, because Quaid does try to propose at the end of the movie, but I don't really know if she was actually going to say yes or not, so I guess we'll kind of see. It would be interesting to have a sequel to this, I think. But yeah, altogether, I have to give this movie a 10, actually. I think it just deserves that. Well, I didn't know she was born in 97. Huh. So when did... 97, 2007. I guess she was 13 when the first Kick-Ass came out. Yeah, I thought she was younger than that. Interesting. So I guess 97, 2017, she would have been 20. So I'm trying to do the math on that. What are we, 4 years away from that? So I guess she'd be 24 now. Huh. I thought she was younger than that even. Wow. Sometimes it's funny. You don't think about celebrities and stuff aging, I guess, and then you kind of like see them or click on their profiles later on. You're like, wow, I can't believe they're that old. But anyhow, yeah, I have to give this movie a 10 out of 10. I would highly recommend it. They did a good job of keeping you in suspense. They probably could have done a little bit more of it in the actual film, but I suppose you kind of knew that something was going to be attacking the plane, but you weren't really sure what. And I guess the gremlin wasn't technically the biggest danger that they had. I would say probably the Japanese planes that came in on them were far more of a danger. The gremlin was just kind of like an inconvenience for them during the entire thing, right? So they kind of had to fight off more than one enemy, which sucks, but hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, right? I'm sure that there probably is a bigger gremlin in the sky, because this one seemed like a baby, so maybe they do end up getting bigger. I'm not really sure, but I guess it would be kind of interesting to have a sequel to this, like I said, just to see if there is more creatures out there like this. But anyhow, that's it for now. So as always, like, share, subscribe, and comment down below your thoughts on this film if you've seen it. If not, definitely go watch it. It is on Netflix now. So I had to watch it. I had to watch it right away when it came out because I really wanted to see this one. So yeah, and that's all I got to say. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye for now.